In this video, I'm going to give you a guide on an absolute monster of a Pokemon. This is terrifying. This is scary. Being chased. Oh my god, kid, get out of my way. You're going to die. He just got killed. Well, anyway, we're going to show you how to build BLOODMOON Ursaluna, this terrifying looking beast behind me. Now, BLOODMOON Ursaluna unlocks all of its moves by level 64. So if you want access to every single move that it can learn, get it at least to level 64. When we go and we check its summary and we go to its stats and moves over here, you can see its ability is Mind's Eye. This ability is insane. It's also the only ability it can actually have. So a BLOODMOON Ursaluna is always going to have this. Now, it makes it so that its accuracy cannot be lowered, so it literally just ignores evasiveness. Another thing that it changes quite drastically is that this is a normal ground type Pokemon, right? With this ability, it is able to hit ghost type Pokemon with normal and fighting type moves. So if you go up against a ghost Pokemon, a ghost is not going to be able to use ghost moves on you, but you're going to be able to use normal moves on the ghost, which is very interesting. This also means that you can, I'm pretty sure you can use this Pokemon in the Ace tournament, because with a normal type move, it should be able to hit everything as long as you have enough PP to do so. If we look at the stats of BLOODMOON Ursaluna, you can see it has incredibly high special attack. It has really good defense and a good HP. It suffers in speed, and its attack and special defense are quite low, so its weakness are special attacks. Ironically, the thing that we're dishing out is the thing we're weak to as well. But if you're going up against Pokemon that use physical attacks, you are going to survive and you're going to hurt them badly. Now, your weaknesses as BLOODMOON Ursaluna are going to be water type attacks, grass type, ice type, and fighting type moves. Any of those moves will do super effective damage to you. Electric, ghost, poison, and rock will do very minimal. Actually, electric and ghost do nothing, as you can see on screen. If I go look at my Ursaluna in my boxes and I press the judge key, which is the plus button, you can see here I've only got 3 best IVs in attack, defense, and speed. We're going to want to hyper train HP, special attack, and special defense as well. So let's go ahead and do that. To do that, we're going to open up the map. This is Kitakami, so we're going to press L or R to change the map to Paldea. And then we're going to zoom out, and we're actually going to go all the way north to Montenevro. Bro, I never know how to say this place. It's been like a year, and I still don't know how to say this place's name, but this place over here. Okay, so once we're at the Poke Center at Montenevro here, you can see if we go behind the backside over here, it's just kind of like to the northeast. You'll see this dude standing here with the dude, I forgot that thing's name too. Let's go speak to this guy anyway. Do you want to hyper train? Yes, we do. We're going to go ahead and select Ursaluna. Select. You will need to be higher than level 50 to be able to do this, and you also have to be in the end of, Paldea's original story. You can choose bottle caps or gold bottle caps, up to you. I have a ton of these from Ace Tournament farming. I'm going to go ahead and click HP, special attack, and special defense. Now, when you hyper train or have something as best, it means as your IVs, it adds a maximum of 31 points into every single stat that we have. So right now we're going to have 31 extra from our IVs into every single stat, which is, obviously the boost that we need. Okay, so that's done. We can go into our boxes again. Go ahead and we look at Ursaluna, and you can see now it says best, hyper trained, hyper trained, hyper trained. So now that all the stats are IV trained and good to go, we can go ahead and work on our EVs. So in Montenevro still, there is a house over here. This house right over here, if you look at the map, it's at this location, this little Chansey supply store over here. To be more specific, I'll just zoom in on the map here, and this is the exact location. Chansey Supply Store. You can't miss it. We're going to go inside here, and this is where you can buy EV training items like HP ups, protein, iron, calcium, zinc, and carbos. Each singular item here increases your EVs by 10 for the stat that it mentions. Like carbos, for example, that we're on here, says increases the base points for Pokemon's speed stat. Base points means EVs, effort values. But as you can imagine, these cost quite a ton of money. So I'm just going to top them up to over 100 again, and you can see that cost me almost $1 million Pokedollars. This is insane, but there's a nice, easier way to get this in Kitakami. So if I open up my map and I press the R key, go ahead and change to Kitakami again, and we just go down to Masoi Town. Actually, in Kitakami over here, if we actually go to the Kitakami Hall by Ogre Ousting is actually the place where you can get these items pretty much for free by playing the Ogre Ousting minigame. So when you play the Ogre Ousting minigame, you will get rewards like mochi, and this will be stored in your bags. And if we go to our bags and we go to rare candies, you'll see here, we'll see our XP stuff. We'll see those other proteins that we bought from the other store, which do the plus 10 EVs for each one. The feathers increase the certain stats by 1 EV instead of 10. So feathers are kind of useless. But if you go further down, you'll see the mints to change your natures, which you can also get at the store that we were just at, I believe. And if we go further down, you'll see here is the mochi. Now, mochi is exactly the same as these things over here. these protein things, right? The only difference is that the mochis, you'll get like a bunch of them just by doing the ogre ousting, and you won't have to pay 10,000 for a single piece of each one of these. Like this is a couple million worth of Poké Dollars just sitting right here. And all it took was some ogre ousting for like maybe 4 hours. There's also a really cool one called Fresh Start Mochi. So if you use your Pokemon in battle before and its EVs are like messed up, you can use a Fresh Start one that erases all EVs so that you can start with a nice clean slate. Now my BLOODMOON Ursaluna is already clean, so we're actually just going to go ahead and start off and we're going to EV train it, right? So to check its EVs first, we're going to go to Ursaluna, check summary. We're going to go to the right tab where its stats are, and we're going to press the L bumper, the switch graph view. That little yellow thing inside the stats thing, the one that's not really moved or skewed, are our EVs. And as we train them, they'll be going towards specific stats that we want. Like we for certain know that we want 252 EVs into special attack. 252 is the maximum you can put into one stat. Overall, 500 is the ultimate maximum that you can put across all of them. But let's go ahead and do special attack, right? We'll actually use the mochi for this one. Go put my mochi to use. So go to our bags, rare candy icon, scroll all the way down until you find your mochi, and we're going to go ahead and put the genius mochi. We're only going to use 26 of these. Select Ursaluna, hit the left arrow, it selects 26 maximum. You can't put more than that. Boom, that's 252 EVs, because remember, 26 times 10 is 260. 260 is going to kind of default to 252. And our special attack is fully EV trained. Now, if we go ahead and we look at our stats here, you can see special attack is fully EV trained, and this is noted by the little stars that you see sparkling around it. This means at level 100, we will actually have plus 63 points into special attack alongside the original IVs and the base stats. For the second stat that we want to raise to 252, I'm going to go with HP over here, health. We're going to use it on Ursaluna. We're going to use 26 again to get 252 out of it. And this means there's a remaining 4 EVs that we can use. And we're going to go ahead and use Resist Mochi, which we're just going to use one of them for defense. And if we go ahead and look at Ursaluna's stats again, you'll now see it is EV trained in special attack, HP, and there's one little notch towards defense that you won't even notice on this. But it's one extra stat in defense, so, I mean, kind of worth it, I guess. Now, what we want to do is change the nature. Now, the nature of a Pokemon can affect the stats of a Pokemon, right? So this Pokemon is pretty hardy by nature, so its nature is hardy. Hardy doesn't affect any of the stats. You can see here, there's no arrows around any of my stats over here. But if I go ahead and I go to my bags and I go ahead to a mint, we're going to actually use the Modest Mint. So Modest Mint over here, that is going to make our special attack go stronger and our normal attack go weaker, which we're not going to use normal attack, so that's fine. Now we apply that and we use that on Ursaluna. We go ahead and we check its summary. You'll now see there's an arrow up by special attack and an arrow down by normal attack. What this means is that there's a 10% increase to special attack and there's a 10% decrease to physical attack. But if you go ahead and you look on this thing here on the memory screen here, it says this Pokemon is pretty hardy by nature. This doesn't change over here. Like when you use a nature mint, it doesn't change on the screen. It only changes the stats on the screen over here when you use a nature mint. It only affects the stats. All right, so now we're going to look at the moves that BLOODMOON Ursaluna can use. So first, I actually recommend using the new system that they've added in the game, which is actually fantastic. If we go to the Missouri Town Community Center over here, I think you can do this at any of the green machines now as of the DLC update. So when you go to the TM machine over here, there is the option to filter for learnable moves, which is fantastic. And if we go ahead and we pick the Pokemon we want to check, you'll see here it's only going to show us moves that BLOODMOON Ursaluna can learn. And in our case, we only want moves that are special attack moves and not physical attack. And if you want to do this, you can press the minus key to sort by category or even power, so you can have the strongest moves at the top. However you want to search this, I searched by category. So if I just go down until it swaps over into special type moves, you can see here we have special type moves starting from here, like Snarl, Swift. You can see here we can actually learn Hyper Voice, which is pretty interesting too. I'm pretty sure if we used Hyper Voice on BLOODMOON Ursaluna, we can farm the Ace Tournament in turbo mode with only having this move on it, just spamming it over and over and over again, and it should still hit the ghost type Pokemon and destroy them because of our very high special attack. While you can always change different moves in and out, the recommended 4 moves that I would probably use are going to be Earth Power for that nice ground type damage. This is 100% accuracy, 90 power. It also may lower the target special defense, which increases your next attack's damage by a lot if the target survives. It's a very nice attack to use. You can PP train this to get it to 116 PP. Our strongest move is going to be Blood Moon. Now this move is also 100% accuracy. It does 140 power damage. It is very strong. The catch though is that this move cannot be used twice in a row. So if you're going to use Blood Moon, you're going to have to use Blood Moon and then like Hyper Voice right after Earth Power, or maybe even a Calm Mind. Hyper Voice is our next move. This is something if you don't want to use Blood Moon and you still want the normal type attacks, it is a very strong normal type special attack, which is really good. And our final one is Calm Mind, which is a kind of status change effect, where it's going to boost our special attack by 1 stage, which makes our damage even more crazy. But it also boosts our special defense stats, which is also very defensive, because special defense is our lowest weakness, like in terms of like if somebody attacks us. Using Calm Mind makes you stronger and tougher at the same time. If you can get one of these off, or maybe multiple of these off in like a Terra raid, or even like some competitive battle, I don't really play competitive too much myself though, I feel like Calm Mind can come in clutch very, very well. And overall, this is a nice, well-rounded set of moves that makes your Blood Moon Ursaluna very, very scary to deal with. In terms of held items, if you're going to go into Terra raids, Shell Bell is probably going to be a good bet, but I would also recommend using the Life Orb as a general good coverage for everything. It boosts your power of all your moves. It does, however, take a little bit of HP for every attack that you do. But for that extra increase, just to guarantee that you one-shot everything that you're fighting, I'd probably go with the Life Orb. Let me know in the comments down below what you would use for Blood Moon Ursaluna for held items or even different moves if you have a completely different setup for your Blood Moon Ursaluna. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Good luck and have fun!